Hey YouTube, welcome to Any Idiot Can Run. So my background is certainly that of a bit more endurance running. I've run half a dozen marathons now, a couple of ultras, attempted a 100-miler once or twice, but various physical and vehicular issues caused me to never be able to actually tick that box, so maybe one day. I've done 2 half marathons, a couple of 10Ks, and 80 park runs, something like that. So short distances is definitely not my forte. And actually that's what 2017 was all about for me. The idea was that I promised not to run any more marathons, so I set about running shorter stuff faster. And I've already set a PB in a half marathon earlier this year. This is race 2 of that target, the mile race. I've got a 10k lined up in about 9 weeks time. I've got a 10 miler not long after that, and at some point this year I will also squeeze in, hopefully, a fast 5k to get my PB down there as well. So I have finished all there is to do in this mile training program, save for finally actually running the mile, which is tomorrow night. And I thought this would be a great opportunity to talk you through my training plan and what I've done and how that's gone. Having never run anything like a mile or indeed any race on the track, I did what any self-respecting runner does, and I turned to Google, had a quick search for mile training plan. First page I came across was the competitor.com mile training plan. It had about the right kind of timescale. It was about 8 weeks, I think. So let's dive in and have a little look at the training plan from Competitor. The training plan from competitor.com was published about 5 years ago now, or just over 5 years ago now, to be a bit more precise. And it's actually written by a chap called Mario Fraioli, who is an American coach. And whilst on the subject of Mario, if you do not already subscribe to the Morning Shakeout, I would highly recommend that you do so. Head on over to themorshakeout.com, stick your email address in the box, hit subscribe, and every Tuesday you will receive an email from Mario talking all things running. In any given week, it's got maybe 4 or 5 different topics that he looks into. There's links to all the research that he's done. He does a format called Going Long, where he talks in a lot more depth with an interviewee about their own particular interest in running. So that's absolutely it's a fascinating insight, and it's great to get every Tuesday and have a bit of a read of that for some information. So that's Mario Fraioli. That's the fella who created this training plan. And he talks a little bit here about the plan, but broadly it's split up into 2 4-week blocks, with the format, with the structure of each of the weeks being pretty much exactly the same. Now I start my weeks on Monday, so Monday for me is rest day. Tuesday is a workout. Wednesday is easy miles. Thursday is 35 minutes easy plus some strides, so that opportunity to get your legs turning over and get them really working. Friday is a rest day, Saturday is a second workout, and then Sunday is a slightly longer easy run. Now, coming from my background of marathon, ultra distance type training, obviously none of these runs are in and of themselves particularly long, but obviously when you're not really training for distance for the mile, so it's all gentle stuff. Now I suppose the biggest difference to this from anything that I've done before is that it's got the 2 track based workouts. Now of course you can do these without a track. If you've got a nice flat, preferably straight, preferably uninterrupted by other roads and things like that, if you've got a nice flat area that you can do these on, then that's brilliant. I've used a mixture of the track at Guildford Spectrum, where I'm a member of Guildford and Godalming, and I can use their track, and also the school where my wife works has a grass track, which is about a mile jog away, so that gets my warm up. I've been able to use that track as well, so that's been brilliant. So I've done all of my track workouts actually on the track during this process, apart from one whilst I was away last week. And I suppose really how this differs is the fact that they are 2-track workouts. So previously I've been doing maybe the Tuesday session with the running club, and then something a bit more like a tempo or threshold type session workout on a Thursday maybe. So this has been really different in that sense. So actually I've really enjoyed doing these 2-track sessions a week. It's been very different, but actually really exciting. It took a little bit of getting used to the different approach to the training. I've actually done all of the training solo. A couple of times I've been down to the Spectrum track on a Tuesday, but I've never actually done a session with anyone else. And all the times I've done it on the grass track, which is the majority of the times, of course, I've been running around doing laps all by myself. So it's been something of a solo effort, which is always difficult when you're trying to run fast. I definitely find it easier to do that when you've got others around you, either pulling you forwards or pushing you on from behind. So running them solo is trickier. My other problem, of course, is that, and certainly I learnt this very early on, the very first session, is to get your paces right. So the first session was 4x800. I was aiming for 5k pace, and I just ran too fast. I was kind of exuberant and got a bit too carried away, which was a bit silly. This was the session, and as you can see, I was far too fast. 5:48 per mile. 6 minute mile was that's probably too fast. 6:06 probably still too fast. 6:07 too fast. So this was supposed to be at 5k pace. My 5k personal best is about 19:30. So all of these were far too fast, and that's something that I really had to take to heart. Is understanding the key effect that pace has. So when I'm doing 5k paces efforts, they need to be at 5k. When I'm doing mile paced efforts, they need to be at mile paced effort. And when I'm doing easy run, they need to be so easy that it's conversational, because otherwise the workouts are just too difficult when it comes around. Your legs are too tired. So that's definitely one thing I've taken away from this whole training process. If we have a look at my training calendar on the whole, so this kicked off on the very last week of May, first week of June, and as you can probably see fairly quickly from this training log on Strava, I've managed to hit 2 workouts a week pretty much every week. On occasion that has meant that I've missed out an easy run. This week in particular, I was away on the Tuesday. There was no chance to get anything done Monday or Tuesday, so I had to push that workout back to Wednesday, which meant I had to kind of forfeit an easy run. At the end of the day, the 3 miles that I might have run in that 30 minutes are not going to make the biggest difference come Friday evening. I don't think that's going to be the point at which I start struggling. This week here was always going to be factored in, because this was an important session for me. The big walk is something that we do at work every year, and it's an event that all of the students are encouraged to take part in, and it's a almost 10-mile walk which links together all of the boarding houses. It's pretty challenging. We are based on the Surrey Hills, so it's not easy. And every year a group of a dozen or so hardy souls will head out to run this, so I accompanied them on that. And then the last couple of weeks have just proved to be a little bit more sporadic. This was the end of term, everything was particularly busy. This week we then went on holiday, so although I'm actually getting this session done in the middle of the Menorcan day, it was a particularly quick session, I suppose, 800 metres and then 2 400s. So it wasn't overly strenuous, but it was hot. But this was family time, and that's what was important. So by and large, I've managed to get my 2 workouts in, and I think it's been pretty successful. So I hope you've enjoyed that little look at the training plan that I use from competitor.com in my training for the mile race tomorrow night. The races start at 7 p.m. tomorrow night at Battersea track. It's 7 till 9, so if you're in the area, it'd be great if you could pop on down. They're opening lane 4 to spectators to come and cheer, make lots of noise, drink beer, eat food, and generally support all the runners as they come through. So I'm in race 2, which is 7:15. There's a few other club members are in various different races, including John Sanderson in the final race. So hopefully maybe he'll get somewhere close to 4 minutes or less, which will be really exciting. I am going to post a link in the description below to the training plan. I will also include links to my Strava page. I will include a link to themorningshakeout.com because I really think you should check that out. I think I've got a link up here for my Strava account and the Power of 10 account profile as well. So I hope you've enjoyed that. If you did, then obviously please give me a thumbs up. That'd be great. Click the button down below to subscribe and you'll be updated every time I release a new video. Head over to my website, anyidiotcanrun.co.uk. You can subscribe to follow that as well if you so desire. Drop me a comment if you've got anything to say about the training plan. Have you ever trained for the mile before? Have you got any other races that you're training for? Do you use a bespoke training plan, or do you Google one and pick one off the internet, or maybe just wing it and go out for a run and see what happens? It'd be great to start a conversation in the comments below. And as a final word, just remember that if this idiot can run, so can you. Thanks. Bye.